Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome back to the spelling segment. We have seen in all the segments previously done the pre-skills that were required, the skills that had to be acquired, and the competencies, the various factors that determine what goes into spelling, and of course finally the teaching methodologies to teach spelling. In all this, we must keep in mind that the children are making errors and they are bound to make these errors because they are lacking in any one area of these skills. Let's now in this segment look at the kind of errors that the child is making or probably is making, and of course why he is making such an error. Let us analyze his mistakes and let us try to provide what are the remediation that can be given to correct these mistakes of the children. So straight away one must remember that not all good readers make good spellers, but all good spellers inevitably can read very, very well. We also have to keep in mind the fact that not everybody can become a good speller. There are many adults today who are poor at spelling and depend on assistive devices like your spell checks in the computers to help them with the spelling. So spelling is a skill that is required and which has to be corrected if the child is making an errors. So let us look into the kind of errors a child would typically make, because the child learns spelling through his visual memory, his visual imagery, the auditory memory, the discrim in both visual and auditory, and his motor memory. Come, let's see exactly where they make these mistakes. Now let's take these sentences that I have put up on the board for you. The ship sails on the sea. Straight away we can spot the errors because our visual memory is telling us that a ship cannot sail on the sea, which is see with you do with your two eyes. So this is what you're going to bring it out to the child's notice. And we have taught the children that ch and sh are digraphs, but which ch would fit into this word in context is something that we'll have to show them. Similarly, C here is a homophone. For C, you must teach them that they are part of the homophone, C and C. You have already been taught how to teach homophones to the child, and that method would be revisited here to teach them the difference in this sentence. The next sentence is, the igloo is made of ice. Here, the child has difficulty with the phonological awareness. He must be made aware that the sound of E, short vowel, is E. And to get the short vowel sound of I, he must write I. So hence, we will correct it using phonological awareness exercises. We can also use colors to help him identify the short vowels. My birthday is on 15th September. The correct word here is September. The child has left out one consonant in between. Syllabication would be a good way to help him identify the fact that he has left out one letter. September would be the right way to syllabicate, and once you do that, he would have recognized that fact that he has made a mistake by leaving out the P because of wrong pronunciation. He is unaware of the fact that he has to pronounce it as September. Helping him recognize this fact will also help him to correct his mistakes. The final sentence on your board, the book is on the bed. We have typical reversals here. You have a word reversal, you have letter reversals, and visual perception and visual memory and imagery the child will have to be enhanced with in order to avoid such mistakes. So helping him with colors, helping him with the BD reversal techniques which I have showed you earlier will help him to correct his mistakes in this aspect. Let's start looking at how the word black can be written by the child who does not have spelling skills. The first thing he could do is write black as BLAK. Here, the child has got poor visual skills because he has not seen the fact that there are 5 letters in the word black, and here he has written only 4. Also, there is a rule called the CK rule. When you have a short vowel sound ending in K sound, then it has to be written as CK. So the best way to teach this child is to give him a structured instruction on how to follow that rule. Once you do that along with the configuration, then what will happen is the child's visual ability to visualize this word will also become better. The next way that he is going to teach is black. Another way that he could spell the word black is as bleck. BLECK. Here, this child has got a lot of confusion with the vowel sounds. BLECK says black, but the word we want is black. The child's auditory skills are also at fault here, and he has not been able to discriminate between the sound of A and E. The best way to remediate this would be using the touch spelling and phonics. Help him to internalize the sounds, and Sonday's system, the touch spelling, is one of the good ways of teaching him how to spell. The third way he can do is, instead of writing black, he writes back. Here, what has happened is the child has not heard. Auditory deficit, he has auditory reception deficit. He has not heard the in the blend. So, instead of saying bl, he has written only b. So, here again, your Sunday system, your touch spelling system along with the phonics will help correct this mistake. The fourth way of doing it is writing DAC for black. Couple of mistakes he has done here. One is straight away what we can see is his reversals, and of course he has not heard the blend. He also has left out the sound. So we have DAC written instead of black. To remediate this, let us go back to the way we have taught you how to remediate the reversals of B and D. Use your hands. If required, write B and D and stick it on top of their table. This will help them to correct their visual processing deficit, which is why these reversals are happening. Again, teach him blends. Teach him that blends are 2 sounds but 1 unit. They are one team. You can hear both the sounds, but they are one team. So he has to pay attention to the listening skills. So a lot more exercise on listening skills will help this child. To continue with our error analysis, let's look at some other words that the child could be making a mistake in. Miss, he writes MIS for miss, MISS. Clearly, the child is not internalized the rule, which is the Flossie rule here, and he has not learnt the rule which you are all being taught. So once you teach a child in a structured way the rules, the Flossie rules, which says that when you have a single syllable word with a short vowel sound ending in F, L, S and Z, then the last letter has to be doubled. Once you teach them this rule, the child will be able to correct himself. The other word that I looked at is bled for bleed. Here, the child has not heard the difference between the short vowel sound and the long vowel sound. The fact is that bleed is a long vowel sound. Even visual memory or imagery has not helped him to realize the fact that there are two E's in this word. So we need to teach him. These are long E vowel sound words. Bleed. And the fact that ED says ed, which is a short vowel. Once we can help him understand the difference between the short vowel sounds and the long vowel sounds, he usually will be able to correct himself. The word pay for pay. Phonetically, it sounds right. PA says pay, fine. But we have rules that says that when you have a long A sound coming at the end of the word, then it has to be written as AY. The child is not familiar with this. So let us help this child by doing a bit of word family and bringing the child to say all the words that he can think of with A coming at the end of the word. And then he will see the pattern that when you have a long A vowel sound coming at the end of the word, it is written as AY, which is a long A vowel sound words. Finally, an example of the child's error could be bought, B-O-G-H-T, for bought, B-O-U-G-H-T. The best way to correct this error is to teach him word families and give him some way to identify the fact that O, U and G, H can become a word family of its own. So let's give it a mnemonic. Oh, you go home words tonight. Okay? Oh, you go home words. Give it as word families. Give it with colors. O-U-G-H could be made in one color. Give him that color and give him word family. Bring it out. Elicit it from the child. That way, the child will learn the word, he will learn the vocabulary, and at the end of every word that you discuss, use it in context. Friends, we have seen how we can correct the child when he makes the mistakes and how we can identify and analyze his mistake and put him on the right path. We have come to the end of the spelling segment. I hope that you have happy time teaching the children spelling. It is an important skill, but a difficult skill to teach, but at the end of the day, it's very satisfying when a child is able to spell a difficult and big word and get his dictation lists all right. Happy spelling to you all.